Welcome to episode 2 of the WebSphere Application Server Network Deployment 8.5. And here we actually take the virtual machine to the next level, which is to install the operating system. So we're going to start the virtual machine for the first time. We're going to install the operating system. The operating system we're using is Red Hat Enterprise Linux Workstation 6.7. Since I'm using this particular CD image, DVD image for the first time, I'm going to do the media scan. And it ejects the media so that when I press continue, it won't find the DVD. So how do I fix that in the virtual machine? I press Control Command. I will go up to the virtual machine menu and select Settings, and then turn on the CD DVD drive again. Now it's already set to use the DVD that's installation, so now it's going to boot using the installation, or not boot, it's going to continue the next step, which is Anaconda. Select English language, English keyboard, basic storage devices. We're not going to have any specialized devices. We're going to discard all data because we've created a brand new virtual disk. But here it's important to give it a host name, DMGR, or something unique, because WebSphere Application Server Network Deployment is very interested in having a host name for every host that's being used. Since it's a new virtual disk, we're going to use all space, and we're going to review and modify the partition layout. We're actually going to just review the partition layout so we can see what the defaults are. Nothing special. We'll put all the information on the virtual disk, all 40 gigabyte virtual disk. It creates that pretty quickly. Now, for the material that we're going over here with a network deployment, we just need a minimal desktop. We are going to use the GUI tools, the graphical user interface tools to install Installation Manager. We're going to use the graphical tools to install the packaging utility. We're going to use the graphic tools to install WebSphere 8.5. So we need a minimal desktop, but we don't need a full desktop, or we certainly don't need a developer machine. And then we'll go on to the next step. Now this is starting Red Hat Enterprise Linux Workstation, version 6.7 for the first time. It's booting off of the virtual drive. It's no longer using the DVD image. Since we installed the minimal desktop, we should see a desktop here shortly. We have to finish the installation. For our purposes, we do not need to create a user. We already have a root user. And that'll be fine. We'll just, in a production system, of course, we'd create additional users with LDAP or something. We're not going to enable decay dump on this virtual machine. Now this is the deployment manager virtual machine, the deployment manager for WebSphere Application Server. This is where we configure and install custom applications, but they don't run. No custom applications run on this machine. So now we're starting it for the second time. We'll be able to log in as root. When we log in as root using the desktop, it gives us a warning that we're running as a super user. And that's okay. We're running as a super user. Now the minimal desktop just installs a few things. It doesn't have all the applications installed that come with Red Hat Enterprise Linux, but it just has the minimal. There's like 100 additional installation packages that are not installed with minimal desktop because we don't need them. Now, we have installed Red Hat Enterprise Linux on this virtual machine. Then what we need to do, so that we don't have to go through this process again, is we want to duplicate this, make a backup copy of it, so we can always return to this point in the virtual machine. And how do we do that? Well, we have to make sure that the virtual machine window is closed, so it's not opened by VMware Fusion. And then we could duplicate the virtual machine directory. And at this point, it's 3.14 gigabytes. It's not 40 gigabytes because we used the split files, and we did not use the option that expands the virtual disk to its full size. We're using sparse virtual disk. And I want to call this minimal desktop. Now that's just a backup copy. I'm not going to actually use it in VMware. If I want to put it back, I would have to duplicate it. Thanks for watching.